I'm going to do a new video for you because the app has changed since the last video I did. Okay, so I have this photo here that's not edited, and then the one that's edited here. You can see like this one is unedited, and then the edited one is brighter. These are darker, and these aren't even as dark as they normally are. Usually they're pretty dark. Here's a dark one. But I'll just take you through the steps. I have the Color Story app and I have the paid version. You can have a free version, which will work just as well. But I have the paid one because I use this app all the time, and I use the filters all the time on different photos. But for just photo editing, you can just use the basic ones. So I'm going to pull in like my main photo, like that I took for Hip Kit. Here at the bottom it says filters, so I'm just going to click on filters, and there's two that I really like. There was one that was called Pop before, but I don't know what happened to it. That was the one that I would just hit once and it would be like done. But the Light Bright I like. Sometimes it washes it out, so you have to adjust down here like the brightness. The other one would be this one right here. So it says Pop and then Pure. So I think this one is pretty good. And then if you just click on it, it does like a before and after. So even just having just one bit of pop, I think that looks good. But my bottoms are always darker than the tops. I think it's just my photos or my lighting situation. So what I will do is hit adjust here at the bottom, and then I either use contrast or bright, usually contrast. And then I take this little plus sign here, click on it, and you can use like the filter or the brush that has like the circle. So if I did it circle, it'll like brighten up the center part, which I use that for corner pieces. Sometimes just a corner will be dark, so I'll move that to the corner and just brighten up the corner until it looks good. But if I want to do just like around the layout, which is usually what I do this here, and then turn it around. Just use my fingers to turn it around, and then put it down here and line up with the bottom of my layout, and then just brighten up the bottom. And then make sure to click that little OK button. And then at the top is usually brighter than the bottom, so instead of the contrast, I will use the bright option and then just brighten that up just a little bit. The sides don't look too bad, but I am going to brighten them up just a little bit. So again, just going to click this here to the line, turn it to the side, and adjust it so that it like lines up with the layout, which sometimes is a little tricky. And then brighten up that corner. And I try to make sure that my brightness is all the way up when I do this, which it is, just so I am seeing it good. It's nice and bright. So then I'll go in and do the other side just to make sure that it all kind of flows together. And you can do it super bright, but I just want it a little bit. Okay, and that looks pretty good to me, but I'm gonna do just a little contrast of like 3, and then hit the little check mark, and then brighten up the whole thing probably at like 5, or I mean, you can see it like totally washes it out, but I'll probably do like 5 brightness. Here comes my dog. And then click OK. And I think that looks good. This corner right here is still a little dark. I will probably brighten that up just with the little circle. So this little circle, I'll bring it down and make sure that that little plus is like all the way in the corner. And it's like a radial filter. So I'll just brighten up that corner. You can see, I think you can see how it brightens it up. but I don't want to be too crazy about it just because I want it to look good and natural. So I'm just gonna probably do like a 10. And leave it at that. So that's what I would do. And then I would just save it. Hit the arrow and then just save, and it'll save it to your camera roll. Let's see, I'll do another one. So I will do, let's see, this one here. Again, you can do the same filter, like recent, and just hit use, and it'll apply all the filters that you use, which that one actually doesn't look too bad. Sometimes when you do the radial filters, it'll like leave lines because one side will be super bright. But if I did do this one, I could just hit OK and then go and undo some of the filters. So you can see like it took brightness off around the edges. Maybe you saw that, maybe you didn't, but if I bring them back, it brightened up the top, and this should brighten up the right side. So yeah, so I do like the way that this looks. So I'll probably just leave it like this, brighten it just a little bit, maybe like a 5. And then anything that has a white, I go over with a contrast with this here, and I'll line this line up with the top of the layout, and sometimes not right at the top, but like on the edge where you can see the line, and then brighten that up so you can see how it brightens that up. And if you play around with it, you'll get used to it. I can edit these like super quick now. And then this corner, I will do the same thing. Take that white line, and I do it right like on the edge. Oh, like that. And then brighten that up like that. And then I'll go in and brighten up the whole thing at like a 10, I think. Yeah, just like that. And then if I click it, you can see the difference. And then I just save it. Super easy. And you can save the editing thing. So usually my layouts look like this when I edit. So you can save this as like a one-click edit. You would just go to save custom preset and then name it like layout, if I could spell, layout preset, and it's there, and you can always find you're saved.